Again, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Austin Peay State University. So glad to have so many alumni back home here at Austin Peay. It's so honored to be a part of the 45th Annual Athletic Hall of Fame induction tonight, with 5 new members becoming enshrined into the Hall of Fame. We're going to get things started. Of course, the meal. I hope everyone enjoys that as we go through. We will have a short program. We'll have video introductions for all of our new inductees, and then you will hear from all of our new Hall of Famers themselves here this evening. Before we get things started, though, I want to welcome the president of Austin Peay State University, Dr. Michael Licari.
Thanks, Brian. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the campus of Austin Peay State University. I'm very proud and humbled and honored to be the 11th president of this institution. I'm also very proud of our athletics department, the success that we're having. The future of the program is bright. You can see the recent success. The trophy case is filling up. The student athletes are successful not only in competition but also in the classroom. We have record graduation rates, record grade point averages, and an academic trophy case that is filling up as well. And that makes me just as proud of all of the athletic and competition trophies that we are winning. We are upgrading our facilities as we speak. The future of Austin Peay athletics is bright. Tonight, though, we take a look back and honor our past, celebrate the foundation of the current success that we're having today, because we stand on the shoulders of those who have come before us, including previous administrators and coaches. Coach Luce is in the house, and it's always good to see you, Dave, and our student athletes that have set the bar for our current and future student athletes. And so tonight we honor those who have had success at the very, very highest level in the past and make us proud today to be governors. Let's go, Pete.
My name is Brian Reeves. I'm with ESPN Clarksville, the Governor Sports Network. It's an absolute honor for me to be a part of this program tonight and to see the newest members of the Austin Peay Athletic Hall of Fame be inducted tonight. I've seen many of their experiences and accolades on the field, on the course, on the sideline in the books, and it's an honor for me just to be a part of this program tonight. Before we get started, I would ask a couple of favors. We've had a good meal, so we'll get a few folks will need to stand and stretch out a little. If any of the members here, and I know there are, that are part of the Austin Peay Hall of Fame Selection Committee, if you will please stand to be recognized for us tonight. And I know this next number will be a little smaller. Any current members of the Athletic Hall of Fame, please stand and be recognized. Glad to have you all with us, and glad to see the football boys still stick together in the back of the room. Appreciate that. As we get started tonight, again, it's such a special night for our Hall of Famers. It's such a special night to continue the legacy of athletics at Austin Peay. And there's one name that rings true through the legacy of Austin Peay athletics, and that name is Dr. Leon Bibb. Yearly, the Bibb family presents the Dr. Leon Bibb and Margaret Bibb Memorial Scholarship to a lucky graduate student to keep excelling in their course of study and to keep pushing forward Austin Peay athletics on the campus of Austin Peay and now through the ASUN. For 28 years, Dr. Bibb was a part of the faculty here at Austin Peay State University. He left a legacy on the academic side. He and his family continue to leave a legacy on the athletic side. Representing the Bibb family tonight, please welcome to the podium Mr. Landon Bibb.
All right, I'd like to start off by saying congratulations to this year's Hall of Fame class. It's such a wonderful time to be a part of Austin Peay athletics, from the achievements in the classroom by all the student athletes to the high standards being set for success across all of our men's and women's sports. As an alumni, I can say I'm proud to be a governor. My name is Landon Bibb, and I stand here before you. It gives me great honor to present the Dr. Leon and Margaret Bibb Hall of Fame Endowment Scholarship. My grandfather, Dr. Leon Bibb, was a leader in Austin Peay's ascent to NCAA Division I athletics by tirelessly and successfully lobbying for APSU's admittance into the Ohio Valley Conference in the early 1960s. Himself a college athlete, he loved competition and winning, but more importantly, he took the term student athlete seriously and was vigilant in stressing that scholarship and sportsmanship are ultimately of greater value in personal growth than gamesmanship. He was inducted into the APSU Athletics Hall of Fame in 1984 and posthumously into the OVC Hall of Fame in 1999. My grandmother, Margaret Cox Bibb, was not only supportive of her husband's career at APSU, she was involved in many aspects of the university community, was a fervent and longtime fan of Governor's athletics teams, and deeply loved our university. Before this scholarship was established in 2000, we were able to identify a need in the athletic department for graduate assistants that were not being funded during the summer semesters. This has changed over the years as these GAs do not have to take summer classes to get the credits that they need to graduate. This scholarship allows a deserving individual to be rewarded for their hard work. All of these GAs are so important to our athletic department for their duties that they take upon and never receive any notoriety for. They are the ones who help out with the day-to-day operations of our sports team and athletic department as a whole. With that being said, this scholarship award also honors all the graduate assistants who are unsung heroes of APSU athletics. Since the inception of the Dr. Leon Bibb Scholarship in 2000, we have been able to award over $55,000 in total scholarship aid to graduate assistants in the athletic department. This endowment has grown to well over $175,000 thanks to the giving of friends and family, and we want to say thank you to those individuals who have and continue to contribute. When we go through the process of trying to select an award winner for this year, we are faced with a tough decision from picking from many qualified and deserving applicants. All the applicants submitted a letter and a resume with recommendation letter from their respective superior. This year's recipients are Jacob Height and Landon Plank. Jacob is a homegrown guy from Clarksville, Tennessee, graduated from Montgomery Central and earned his bachelor's degree here at Austin Peay. He is now pursuing a GA in leadership skills and organization. Jacob is instrumental in the athletic department office and the setup of events. Landon arrived at Austin Peay via Ohio Northern University, where he earned his bachelor's degree in exercise physiology. He is pursuing his GA in health and human performance, where he helps with the football, soccer, and track and field. We are honored to introduce this year's recipients of the Dr. Leon and Margaret Bibb Scholarship to Jacob Height and Landon Plank.
Jacob, it's great to meet you. Good to meet you. Thank you so much. And then got a letter from nice to meet you. Congratulations. Hey, Landon. Jacob. Hang on. All y'all stay there for a minute. Come here. Come on up here.
All of us who have been in athletics in some form or fashion know that it takes more than just the team. It's the team around the team, and those are two great examples for Austin Peay State University of how this athletic department works and strives and is one of the top in the ASUN now. Now let's start with our Hall of Fame induction ceremony. And the first inductee, well, this young lady plays what is called around the world the beautiful game. And when Austin Peay started their women's soccer program in 2002, she brought the beautiful game and the beautiful play to Morgan Brothers Field. But in 2010, when she arrived on Austin Peay State University campus, the game of soccer changed as well. She was the 2010 OVC Freshman of the Year, First Team All-Ohio Valley Conference member in 2010 and in 2012. Also the Ohio Valley Conference Offensive Player of the Year in 2012. She's been all-league, all-conference. She's been a member of the World Cup team. She's been an Olympian. And now she's an Austin Peay Hall of Famer. Our first inductee tonight, being inducted by her previous soccer coach, Ms. Kelly Guth. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'll turn your attention to the screen, this is Tatiana Ariza.
I'm extremely proud and excited to have the opportunity to introduce to you Tatiana Ariza, the first ever soccer player to have the opportunity to be inducted into the APSU Athletics Hall of Fame, and I can't think of another player that is more deserving. The impact that Tatiana had on our program is immeasurable. I remember back when she first arrived on campus, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention her sister Natalia as well, because they were a pair, the dynamic duo, so to speak. They both brought such a new energy and life to our program, not only on the field but off the field. It was so refreshing to have players that had competed at such a high level come in and set a great example for their other teammates, and it really changed the culture of our program. Tatiana was a prolific goal scorer. She made an impact in every game that she played. She became the fiercest attacking player in the conference at that time, and I know that she was on everybody's radar in every game that we played, that if they didn't contain her, that the Lady Govs were going to be successful in finding the back of the net. We had 4 tremendous seasons with her on the field leading the team. And I think about her soccer accomplishments and what an impact she had on the program, but I also think of the off-the-field impact that she had by setting the example of coming into an environment that's uncomfortable, English as a second language, and really making her studies a focus and achieving at a very high level, given many, many different challenges, being away from home, being around a different culture and background. And she really was, so positive with her teammates and such a great example of hard work really does pay off. Every single opportunity that I had to interact with her, I felt like she had something that we could gain as a program and a team, not only by the demonstration of her abilities on the field, but even the way that she interacted off the field with the team. And it really made such a positive impact on our program moving forward, and she motivated her teammates to excel and put more effort in and to really want to play at a higher level. And I'm forever grateful and thankful that I had the opportunity to be a coach and a mentor to her. And I think back on my coaching days, and those were 4 of probably the best years of my college coaching career, and I'm very thankful that I had the opportunity to serve as her coach at that time.
Tatiana cannot be here with us this evening. She is still playing the beautiful game for her home country. We have an acceptance from her that is sent to us via video, so if you'll please give us a moment to make sure we can get that taken care of and hear from Tatiana herself in accepting her Hall of Fame induction.
First, I just want to start off by saying thank you, because there are so many thank yous to be said. First of all, to Austin Peay, all the athletic department, thank you the Hall of Fame, all the staff, and the people who made this possible. Thank you to everyone. Today, I'm sitting here from distance due to work and my commitments, but accepting this great honor. I was thinking about what to talk about today. What I kept coming back to were the people. The people that have supported me, challenged me, lifted me up. There are so many that have helped me to get here today to receive this amazing award. First, a special thanks to my family, my parents. They are the reason and the ones who push me to become who I am. I owe everything to them. Thank you for your unconditional support all these years. All the sacrifices that you have made and the standards that you set for me and my sister were truly valuable. Thank you both. To my twin sister Natalia, thank you, because without you, I will not have made it. This award is also for you. You deserve it as well. We supported each other on and off the field, even though we almost always argue on the games. Coming from another country, learning a new language, adapting to another culture without your family is not an easy task. But we did it. We had each other, we shared so many memories, so many moments, and that is when you realize that family is everything you got. To my coaches, I have been so fortunate to have great coaches during my college career. Thank you to Coach Good for believing in me, for giving me the opportunity to play soccer in a D1 school, and for pushing me to be the best player I possibly could be. Thank you to Coach Jeremy for all the hard work with the team, hours of video analysis, and all the advice and the tips you gave me in each training session and each game. Thank you, Coach Jake, for the willingness you always had to help me improve, all the conversations that we had about soccer and different players, and the love and passion you have for this beautiful sport. To my teammates, I had so many great teammates during my 4 years of college who helped me and challenged me every single practice and game. What I will always carry with me are the moments in the locker room, the hours in the locker room, and hotels and restaurants and traveling around the country, because they taught me so many things throughout my career. But a special thanks to my class, Emily, Q, Corey, Andy, Natalia, and Haley. We share special moments that I will never forget. Thanks for the friendship that will always have a place in my heart. Soccer is a universal language. So much of who I am stems of my experience of this wonderful game. My values were taught at a young age and were reinforced through my years playing soccer. Perseverance, hard work, integrity, love, respect, tolerance, and dedication are key to being as successful in a sport or in life in general. Always dream big. Again, thank you very much to Austin Peay for this wonderful honor on a day that I will never forget.
Our next inductee, well, at the age of 18, a young man from Plymouth, England, decided to cross the pond and settle in the Queen City of Clarksville. As part of the APSU Golf Fab 5, as we come to be known, they started to rewrite the golf record books in 2010. He was a 2012 Ohio Valley Conference medalist with an opening round 66 to win the OVC by 3 shots, and he's the only golfer in Austin Peay history to be recognized as an all-conference member in all 4 years of his competition. Now, giving back to the game that gave him so much as an instructor and a teacher, we welcome in our newest inductee, being presented by his former golf coach, Kurt Caden. Ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Bradley.
Good evening. My name is Kurt Caden. I was the Austin Peay golf coach from 2004 to 2014. It is an honor and a privilege tonight to talk a little bit about one of my former players from the class of 2014, Anthony Bradley, originally from England. Great player, great person, great father, great husband, and excited to be here tonight to be a small part of the induction of Anthony Bradley into the Austin Peay Hall of Fame. He was the individual OVC champion in 2012. He was also part of the Austin Peay golf team of 2012-2013 that won the OVC championship that spring. He was fortunate enough to play in 2 postseason championships in the NCAA regional. As an individual, he played at Bowling Green, Kentucky, at Western Kentucky's home there as an individual, and then of course the team played in the team championship at Arizona State in 2012-2013. He was a part of that great team that year of 12-13. They won many team championships, and made it to the postseason. They were credited with the highest finish in the history of the OVC for men's golf. The Austin Peay golf team was that year. So probably part of one of the greatest teams ever in the history of the conference, and Anthony had a big part of that. He was recruited by only a couple Division I schools. He was recruited by Belmont University right here in Middle Tennessee, and then of course Austin Peay decided to come our way, and he hit the ground running right away. He played all 4 years, played in pretty much every tournament for 4 years with us. Again, OVC champion individual, a part of a team championship as well. He's also a great teammate, was a great and is a great instructor today at a high-end Pete Dye course in Indiana. He was always willing to help his teammates, always, and it started early on in his career he had a great knowledge of the game of golf. He was one of the best ball strikers I've ever seen off the tee and with his irons. Consistency was probably his middle name. He hit a lot of fairways and a lot of greens in his career, and that took him to the top of the OVC in many tournaments throughout his career. Excited about the induction of Anthony Bradley. That's 2 years in a row that particular golf team has got a member into the Austin Peay Hall of Fame. I'd like to thank the athletic department and the Hall of Fame committee for getting these golfers into the Hall of Fame. That really means a lot. And without further ado, I want to congratulate Anthony and his family. Great person, great father, great husband, and great teammate. And congratulations to Anthony Bradley, men's golf.
Please welcome to the podium the newest member of the Austin Peay Athletic Hall of Fame, Mr. Anthony
My name is
Bradley.
Kurt Caden. I was the Austin.
Turn your face. You got it? Oh, you got it?
Wow. What an honor. What an honor to be back here on campus. What an honor to have this amazing, I mean, it actually looks like me too, which is great. Yeah, what an absolute honor. I was here last year for Marco Eaton's and just was absolutely blown away. Austin Peay has such a special place in my heart. Obviously, I'm from England. To go all the way back, I think that Coach Caden, thank you for those words. That was absolutely very special to me, okay? To go all the way back, I was recruited by Coach Caden. I went through a company called Pro Dream USA. So what a lot of people don't realize is America is the only place in the world where you can play high-level university sports and still get an education. In England, at the age of 18, I had a decision to make whether I was going to turn pro or just go and get my education. And so the main reason to come to the States was so that I could do both. I remember it was the winter of '09, and I've been on the phone with Coach a few times, and me and my dad decided to come over here and take a trip and see what Austin Peay was all about. Obviously, we saw some pictures on the internet and such, but when we first stepped on campus, it felt right. As Coach said in the introduction right there, I didn't get very many offers. Actually, I wasn't that good of a golfer, if I'm honest. When I was about 17 or 18 years old, I was a little bit of a late bloomer. I was a soccer player growing up, or a football player, as you would say in England, and decided to start playing some golf and really took off from there. So I didn't get very many offers, and when me and my dad stepped on this campus, it just felt right. It had the right amount of students. It had the facilities that we were looking for. We got to play Clarksville Country Club, the Links of Novadell, Swan Lake, Mason Rudolph, and I think the biggest thing for me was that year that I was coming in as a freshman, there was 4 other freshmen coming in. Trey Tarpley, Marco Eaton, Alistair McLennan, and Griffin Brown. Ali was from Scotland, Marco was from Switzerland, and then the other two guys, one from Nashville, Tennessee, sorry, and one from Southern Indiana, and I'll get into that here in a little bit. And that felt comforting to me, coming from a different country, going 2,500 miles away from home was going to be a scary experience, and to have 4 other guys that were going to have that experience with me felt comforting, and that's part of the reason why I decided to come to this university. To go into a few little things, I think one of the amazing things about Hall of Fame induction is I think most of the time when an athlete receives an award, it's present, right? In the game of golf, you play 4 days and you get an award. When I think about this award, this is over a career, it's over 4 years. And that's an amazing thing that I had to think about when I was thinking about coming up here and talking tonight. 4 years is a very long time, and a lot of things happened in those 4 years. I think one of the things that major happened was as I look down and see my beautiful family. Oh, sorry. When I was a sophomore, Megan, my wife, got pregnant, and she was living in Southern Indiana. I was living in Clarksville, Tennessee, and it was going to be an interesting experience, an interesting ride, and it has been. 4 days after I played the NCAA in Bowling Green, Kentucky, we had Emma. Emma, say hi to everyone, wave. And when I think about all of the people that I need to thank, there are many of them, obviously, but there's only really one, and she's at the top of the list, and that's my wife, Megan. I'm standing here tonight because I was able to play 4 years of college golf. If I had only played 2 years of college golf, I would not be standing here. She decided to give up her dreams so that I could live out mine. She was a nurse, very smart, and she was going places. And when we had Emma, she said, you know what, you stay in school, you do you, I'll look after Emma. From there, that is why I was able to play out my 4 years. I was able to help Coach Caden, help the Austin Peay golf team, help the athletic department. And if it wasn't for Megan, everybody, I would not be here tonight. So I'm going to continue a little bit more, but if I could get a round of applause for my wife, please. I'd also like to thank just the teammates that I had through the years. I think that golf is an individual sport, but we play as a team in college. And if it wasn't for some of those guys shooting the scores that they did, we wouldn't have been as successful, and we wouldn't have had the experiences that we had had. I think, obviously, I said Marco, Trey, Ali, Dustin Corty has been a huge part of my golf career. Luke Sherrod, Brian Balthrop were there as seniors when I was a freshman. Tucker Wallace, Corey Smith, Chris Baker, all of those guys were very special to me, both on and off the golf course. I was just talking to Coach Caden before this all started, and we were just talking about how many times, I communicate with those guys, and honestly, I still communicate with them most weeks, which shows you that bond, right? I mean, that's amazing to have a team that are from different countries, different places in America, and to be able to communicate and still stay in touch with those guys on a weekly basis is I'm very blessed. I would also like to thank, obviously, my parents. I wouldn't be here without them. Feel very, very blessed that my mum is here tonight. She flew over from England only a couple of days ago, so extremely blessed that she's here with us and my family. Unfortunately, my dad couldn't make it tonight, but I do want to say something about my dad too, that again, all of these reasons why I'm standing here is because of other people, really. I mean, I just played some golf and got the ball in the hole. It's really because of the other people is why I'm here. And I remember we were at a tournament, I was probably 17 years old, and I go back to that Pro Dream USA, and we got done with the tournament, and there was a piece of paper on his car, and basically it was this guy that owned this company, and my dad was the one that pushed me to say, you know what, you need to go to America, you need to go play college golf, you can live out your dreams and achieve those goals. And if it wasn't for him, I 100% wouldn't be here. I would still be in England, because he was the one that told me that I needed to come to America and come to university over here. I think finally, I just obviously want to thank the selection committee. I mean, thank you for obviously choosing me as a recipient this year. It's a complete and utter honor. My kids, Emma was very young when she was on campus. Eli has never been on campus, and we went for a ride round today before tonight, and could not believe the facilities that are now in place at the university, and obviously super excited about where everything is going with the university on every sports team. And that's amazing to see, both academically and athletically. So finally, I'd just like to thank everybody again. What an amazing, amazing evening, and let's go P. Thank you.
For our next induction, we turn to the baseball diamond, Raymond C. Hand Park, where in 2011, a young Missouri native came to Austin Peay to show us exactly what excellence looked like on a baseball diamond. Many athletes dream of championships, but in a 3-year career, Jordan Hankins' 3 years all ended in baseball championships and in dog piles in Jackson, Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken. One of the best to play at Austin Peay in multiple positions, played for Team USA, and still remains the highest drafted position player from the Austin Peay baseball team, as he was drafted in the 11th round by my Chicago Cubs, just for the record. So, ladies and gentlemen, inducting Jordan tonight is former Austin Peay assistant baseball coach Derek Dunbar. For induction is Jordan Hankins.
When Jordan called me about being inducted into Austin Peay's Hall of Fame, my first thought was, it's about time. When he asked me to introduce him, my only thought was, what an honor. The first time I saw Jordan in action was at a summer prospect camp at Austin Peay's Raymond C. Hand Park. Many things stood out about his abilities on the baseball diamond, but what stood out most was his ultra-aggressive left-handed swing with that infamous high leg kick. And if you ever saw Jordan play, you know exactly what I mean by that leg kick. Hammerin' Hank is the nickname we gave him, and he lived up to that the moment he put on a Govs uniform. It's not typical for a true freshman to come in and be inserted directly into the middle of the lineup and have tremendous success right away, but that is exactly what he did. He had two very important characteristics that made him one of the most feared hitters in college baseball: resiliency and consistency. Nothing ever seemed to faze him, and no moment was ever too big. Jordan had that it factor and thrived on the biggest of stages. We all knew he was going to do something special with that clutch gene anytime he stepped into a batter's box, like when he hit the game-winning home run against Georgia Tech in our 2011 regionals. Then there was the time he hit a 3-run homer to give us the lead over Oregon in our 2012 regional appearance, which ultimately led to his invitation to play for the collegiate national team. Those highlights and many others were the reasons that fans made sure they weren't at the concession stand buying popcorn when Hammerin' Hank was up to bat. He brought the excitement to the field and put runs on the scoreboard. What more can you ask for in baseball? I know your family and many others are as excited and as proud as I am to see this day finally come for you. And I hope your years at the P are as memorable for you as you have made them for us. With that, Jordan Hankins, congratulations on becoming an Austin Peay Hall of Fame inductee.
Ladies and gentlemen, the newest member of the Austin Peay Athletic Hall of Fame, from baseball, Jordan Hankins.
Wow. Not gonna lie, that introduction got me there. Thank you, Dee, for that. I really appreciate that. I'm so honored to be standing here on this stage this evening along with my fellow inductees. When I first sat down to work on writing my speech, I thought to myself, how in the heck am I going to be able to list everyone who's made an impact on my life and to got me to where I am tonight on the stage? The answer is simple. It's an impossible task because it takes a village of support, family support, and support of close friends throughout my journey, but I'll sure do my best. I first want to thank my family for being here tonight. I met Kristen after my baseball career. She blessed me with two beautiful stepdaughters, Peyton and AJ. My first son, Lawson, who just turned 1 recently. I'm so happy to have the opportunity to have Kristen to be able to kind of take a look at a glance at my past, but what I'm so passionate about here at Austin Peay, and for the love for this game. You bring out the best in me, babe. I love you. Thank you for all your support. To my mother, Tammy, the glue that holds this family together. The unconditional love you give every day to all of us can never be repaid. Between Josh and I, the 100 games played each summer, the practices, time, money, and the sacrifices made, I'm forever grateful. There was nothing more excited than the anticipation of Josh and I receiving our newest model baseball bat every year for Christmas. We couldn't wait to run downstairs to test it out. You'll never understand how much you mean to me. Thank you, Mom, for all you do for us. Love you. To my dad, they said early on I was born into a baseball family. Baseball was in the blood. Started with my grandparents' love for the game and the ability to play, to my father's God-given gift to play the game, passed down to Josh and I, my brother. My father, I believe still to this day, holds the high school record for having hit 7 home runs in just 13 games played in a season. As a child, I remember with the joy of watching you play softball, hanging out in the dugouts with the guys, and couldn't wait to get on the field after games were played. My father's baseball career came to an early close after expecting his first son at an early age. The sacrifices made, working 70-plus hours as a tool die machinist to provide for his family in order to give the life that my brother and I are so fortunate to have. As for me, being a new father of 3 and learning something new each and every day, if I could ever become half the parents you and mother are to us boys, I will have succeeded. Thank you, Mom and Dad. I love you. To my brother, my ultimate competitor, everyone has that one special baseball place or moment in life in their childhood. My place was playing baseball downstairs with my brother Josh in my parents' basement. I can picture it now, throwing our arms out at a painted blue rectangle strike zone on that green bed mattress that leaned up against the basement window. AC vents dented from arguing ground rule doubles. Me complaining about my brother throwing too hard at me while running the duct tape bases on the concrete floor. Mother and father never complained. In fact, after the upteen times windows and lights had broken, instead of father shutting the game down, he wisely decided to install plexiglass in front of the windows, and our game continued. Brother, you have been right by my side throughout this whole baseball career. Watching you play the game and me trying to emulate you, I've always wanted to make you proud because of how proud I am of you, my older brother. I love you. Thank you. To my grandparents, I've always felt fortunate to have been able to live next door to my grandparents, growing up as a kid. Grandma and Grandpa always had a batting cage out back in their backyard when my father and uncle would hit all the time. My grandpa, Gene, then went on to build a 40 by 60 building out out in the backyard and put an indoor batting cage, AstroTurf, the whole nine. I'll never forget my grandfather's words said to when I was about 10 years old. He said, if I build this, there's no excuses for you not to be working in this cage. I took that to heart. And from then on, I was in that cage working. My grandpa is no longer here with us today. He passed away about 8 years ago, but he was one of my biggest mentors I've had in the game. Both my grandma, Sharon, and grandpa never missed a ball game of mine. My grandmother taught me everything I know about this game. I knew she'd like that if I said that tonight. She taught me not to be scared of the ball because I'd practice wearing baseballs from her pitching at me. All jokes aside, I want to thank you, Grandma, for all your love and support. You're truly one of a kind. Thank you, Grandma. I'm going to transition into Austin Peay Athletics now. I need to start at the top, thanking Austin Peay Athletics and the committee for selecting me here tonight. It was a great honor. Thank you, Austin Peay, for giving me the opportunity to receive an education, learn and study, and develop my craft here at playing ball at the P. I want to thank Cody Bush and Brian Reeves. You two sure know how to make players sound good, let me tell you. Both have perfected your craft. Thank you for all your kind words expressed and my following throughout my baseball career. Thank you. I've always believed in order to have success, you must surround oneself with talented individuals in order to create a winning culture. And that's what Coach Mack did. Mack, your stats speak for itself with wins under your belt and throughout your career at Austin Peay. I want to thank you for believing in me and who had the confidence in me early on as a freshman, earning a starting role. Players wanted to win for you because of your passion and love for the game. Thank you, Mac, for all your continued support. Thank you to my coach, assistant coach, Joe Mangrum. I want to thank him for taking a chance on me and recruiting me. Your ability to find and gather players throughout the country my freshman year in 2011, recruiting 8+ incoming freshmen who had proven to make an impact to the team, played a major role in our team's winning success. To D, thank you so much for that introduction. Still to this day, you're my favorite hitting coach I've had throughout my entire baseball career. Your ability to share your wisdom and how you connect with your players is something that you cannot teach. It's God-given. As a hitting coach, you allowed players to be their natural self while sharing the wisdom to mold your players. I could say no player ever wanted to lose for you. Thank you, D. To my teammates, I want to thank all of my teammates. All of you are like a brother to me. We worked tirelessly, competed to the fullest, and pushed one another in a positive way. We were a true team from top to bottom. And now I'd like to take this time to reflect on some of my teammates and memories shared. To Reed Harper, thank you for making it real easy over there at second base throughout my entire career. You're a tremendous athlete, and it is with great honor to be able to play it alongside you. Reed, you're the one of the most gifted natural talents, and that is great at anything that is put in front of you, almost to the point where it's disgusting. No, seriously. We would be literally walking to the gymnasium, and we would see Reed running the court, playing basketball, pickup games, and next thing you know, he's dunking over some guy. It's that type of disgusting, because I can't even touch the rim. So being able to play together as teammates and to share the ball diamond with you is something that I will cherish for the rest of my life. You played the game with such respect, class, and love that in return made everybody else around you better. Thank you, Reed. To Greg, our captain, you are a born leader, and in this game of baseball, that is exactly what you displayed every time you stepped between those white lines. Your ability to lead, share wisdom, lift other teammates' heads up, and the confidence you displayed, always wanting the ball hit to you, was contagious for all to follow your lead. It is an honor to be able to play alongside one of the Austin Peay greats. Thank you, Greg. I don't even know if I've even shared this before, but when I was recruited first as a catcher coming my freshman year at Austin Peay. I knew I could hit. Infield was more of my oasis, more I was comfortable at. On the first day of practice, as I join all the other catchers for drill work, I see both PJ and Dan blocking fastballs, throwing BBs down to each base, and I thought to myself, I got to find a new position. These two were playing the position as if they were veteran seniors, and that's how they went about their business. And that was the end of my catching days at the P. Dan and Reed were my roommates, along with a guy named Tyler Rogers, a 6'4" pitcher that can put any hitter into a slump if they ever stepped into the batter's box to face. I hated facing him in scrimmages. There was one time when I walked into the clubhouse to check the scrimmage rosters to find out Rogers was pitching on the other side. So I took a Sharpie and made an adjustment, scratching out the name to put my name on his team. I told the coaches, ain't no way I want to volunteer putting myself in a slump today. Again, all the credit has to go to the coaches for bringing this group of talented ball players together. Everyone had a role and they played it to a T. We had speed. I was always jealous of speedy runners like Cody Hudson, Michael Blanchard, because speed was the one gift that I did not receive from God. I had to hit the ball a long way because a triple was just out of the question for me. We had pitching. I can tell you, no hitter felt confident going into a weekend series facing 3 starting left-handed pitchers, especially a hitter from the left side of the plate, and that's exactly what we had. We had Jack, Jeremy, and Tony. Other pitchers who made important impacts, Casey Delgado, Jared Karkoff, and Lee Riddenhauer, just to name a few. Offensively, it was easy when you have guys like Craig Massoni, Greg, Hogan, and Rolando and Reed to be in that order. It's just kind of passing the torch. Whatever they did, you wanted to add to it. And you guys pushed me to be the best that I could be, and I really appreciate all you guys. Okay, it took a village. As we move forward, I'm excited for what's in store here for Austin Peay baseball with the new transition and the new coach. If I can leave here with anything tonight, I'll leave here with this. Everyone has a gift. Use your gift to perfect your craft, your own uniqueness. Don't look to follow someone else's lead. Look to lead as others will follow. I'm forever proud to be a governor. Thank you all so much. God bless.
I believe that makes 3 of that infield Hall of Famers, if I'm not mistaken, from third, short, and second. Not a bad way to watch a Sunday, Saturday afternoon at the hand. Our next inductee, you cannot write the history of Austin Peay athletics without the name Dr. Bruce Myers. The man with silver locks has worn many hats for the Austin Peay Athletic Department and for Austin Peay State University. As an educator for 48 years, running the math department, the computer science department, and the head of the computer science department for his last 15 years of service to Austin Peay State University. On the athletic side, he was an athletic faculty representative, taking over from one of his great mentors, a member of the Red Coat Society, inducted in 2011, and he's a 25-year Hall of Fame committee member responsible for many inductees that are already enshrined here at Austin Peay State University. And if that's not enough, in his spare time for the last 50 years, you can find him on the sideline of the men's basketball game, making sure the stats are right each and every night. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting for induction, Mr. Jeff Bibb, who will induct Dr. Bruce Myers.
It is an extraordinary privilege to introduce the next inductee into the APSU Athletics Hall of Fame 2023 class. In 1970, Dr. Bruce Myers arrived at Austin Peay as an assistant professor of mathematics. no one could have predicted the number of hats, or in his case, top hats, Dr. Myers would be wearing. Let's start with his academic top hat. Distinguished, innovative, a student favorite. Perhaps a hallmark of Dr. Myers' career occurred in 2003 with the launch of a brand new academic department, Computer Science and Information Technology, which since its launch has become one of the fastest growing and most widely recognized of its type in Tennessee. Now let's talk about his athletics top hat. In the fall of 1976, then Sports Information Director Doug Vance was looking for a new official scorekeeper for men's basketball. I happened to be his student assistant when Doug asked me if I knew of anyone who might fill this role. Well, immediately, I recommended Dr. Bruce Myers, an avid and educated follower of college basketball, himself a coach of numerous youth sports teams, and of course, a gifted mathematician. But of greater importance in athletics, Dr. Myers served with distinction in the dual role of faculty athletic representative and chair of the athletic committee. These are vital links between the athletic side and the academic side of the university. He's also served for more than 2 decades with integrity and distinction on the Hall of Fame selection committee. From a personal top hat standpoint, it has been a privilege and a blessing for my wife Sharon and myself to have known Bruce and his wife Janie personally and through our Sunday school class for more than 30 years. As a wrap-up, when you attend the Austin Peay versus Queens University basketball game tomorrow in the Dunn Center, take a look at the half-court official scorers table. You will see the distinguished Dr. Bruce Myers wearing his striped official's jersey as he prepares to keep the book in this, his 47th and final year as the official scorekeeper for Austin Peay men's basketball. And more importantly, a new inductee into the APSU Athletics Hall of Fame. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Bruce Myers.
I have to tell Jeff one thing. I ask off tomorrow, so I won't be there. I wanted to walk out on the floor with you all. I'd like to start tonight by introducing my family over here at this table. My son Joe, wife Janie, granddaughter Madeline, daughter Jessica, daughter Becky, and my son-in-law Alan Rassus. It's great to have you all here. And I want to congratulate all of the other winners. It's been great to sit up here and catch up with Johnny Williams a little bit. You all are going to hear from him. And I want to thank the Hall of Fame committee and Gerald Harrison, Dr. Licari, for the recognition that we have. As I start this, there's a certain group of people that are already in the Hall of Fame that mean a lot to me, meant a lot in my life, and I want to just mention those people. Earl Walton, who was my first mentor in Clarksville and had a lot to do with my coaching and involvement, and also Dr. Dave Aaron, Dr. George Fisher, Dr. Leon Bibb, and Mr. L.M. Ellis, along with Michael Betts, who is one of my first computer science students at Austin Peay and also an athlete. That means a lot to me. A lot of what I had here, Jeff has said some of it. I did start in 1976 in the brand new Dunn Center at that time as the scorekeeper, and I had no idea how long I would be there, but I decided I'd almost stopped a couple of years ago, and then I learned we were going to do one more year this year, and so I stayed, and I finished out my career there, and I will not be returning. In the other job that I had, the late Dr. K. Hart offered me the opportunity to become the faculty athletic rep and chair of the athletic committee. That was in 1995, and she told me that Dr. Gaines Hunt had said that I was the only person for this job. Dr. Hunt, of course, is no longer with us, but he was my boss, and in that video he mentioned the start of computer science department. Dr. Hunt also facilitated that, and so a lot of things have come together. The faculty athletic rep job, there has only been 4 people in that job since the university moved to the OVC in 1963. It was Dr. Leon Bibb, Dr. Gaines Hunt, myself, Dr. Cindy Taylor, who is here with us tonight, and her work continues in that role. I always wanted to be involved in athletics, or with sports and athletics in any way possible. I first learned how to keep baseball score when I was about 11 or 12, and I learned to keep the basketball scorebook while I was in college. So that has always been important to me. This award really recognizes me for doing what I always wanted to do the most. I was talking about this to Kobe Wilson not long ago when this was announced, and he'd mentioned it to me, and I said, you know, it let me do what I want to do. And he commented that that is true of a lot of us that like to work and like to be around athletics. I'm excited in our time now that there's so many people that want to work around athletics. If you look at even our department, we've got assistant directors of this, or somebody assisting someone in all areas like publicity and other things, and I'm just really excited to see that interest continue. In scorekeeping, I had lots of interesting experiences. Maybe the most interesting was the time that, or the most dramatic, was seeing an official knocked out cold after being kicked in the head by a cheerleader doing backflips to come out and cheer during a timeout. Somebody remembers that besides me, is that right? That really happened. But I can tell a lot of stories, but the friendships and the connections developed with officials, coaches, and others are what I'll remember the most. I was ill a few years ago and was off for a year, and after one of the games where I was home watching, I had a quick phone call right at the end. And it was Brett Miles, who's one of our OVC officials. He had noticed I was gone and just called to see about me. And that was very, very touching to me, that we have those kind of connections. At one time in basketball, we had visiting scorekeepers who would come and sit with me and watch me. A lot of good friends came out of that over the different schools and different connections that we really had. Another thing about scorekeeping, you may not realize, the basketball rules in my time of keeping score have changed so much. When I started keeping score, there were only 2 officials in a game. The first 6 fouls were one-shot fouls. There was no 10-foul rule. There was no shot clock. The alternating possession hadn't happened yet. No 3-point shot, and lots of other changes. So you can see it has evolved a great deal, and it continues as we go. It requires a lot of concentration to keep score. I don't ever hear anything that's said. People ask me about something was announced. I don't know. I do concentrate. But what you may not know is scorekeeping is strictly a manual process. It's me and some pencils and the book. and I have to match all those computers and statistics, or to say it better, they have to match me at the end of the game. And we continue to see that evolve. It's what we do every time. I would like to especially thank those folks that have worked together. We're kind of a group there on the scores table and have been together a long time, and some are no longer with us, but especially Steve Willard, the late Ray Johnson. I sat between those guys for a lot of years. Jerry Albert, Tara Patterson, Patty Rye, Chris Austin, Kobe Wilson, and Cody Bush. It's a great group to work with. As far as the other job I had, the faculty athletic rep, I dealt with a lot of areas, a lot of parts to the job, the NCAA rules enforcement, dealing with any violations that we had, chairing the athletic committee, signing everything. And I had that job when we didn't have DocuSign, if anybody knows about that. Signing meant going to that spot and signing that piece of paper, and we spent lots of time doing that. And I'm proud to say that during the time I had the athletic rep job, I worked with Coach Dave Luce most of the time. There were some other athletic directors. And I'm also very proud to say that during that time, Austin Peay never had a major violation of any kind during the whole time of Coach Luce's tenure. And I'm very proud to have been a part of that. And of course, at the same time that went on, Coach Luce was coaching some pretty good basketball teams during our time, and I just want to say I'm very proud of that and what I was able to do. You know, we had an interesting way that we worked. We never would ask to meet with each other. If we had something to deal with, we just called each other, and that was it. It didn't have to get on the calendar. You didn't have to do any of those things. Some of my work involved leading search committees for coaches and other athletic personnel. And I think the way it's changed around with those is probably better than that once was, as we did a lot of work and a lot of things that perhaps we didn't know how to do. But I want to mention here, as looking back over athletics, one of my saddest times of my work with athletics and of my life was the events that surrounded Austin Peay's elimination of scholarship football in 1996. I was told to attend a meeting where they told the football athletes that they no longer had scholarships. I was put in charge of finding the next coach as chair of the search committee, and it was just a terrible, sad time, a downtime for Austin Peay athletics. I'll always be grateful to the folks that brought scholarship football back. Sherry Hoppy was the president, Dave Luce was the athletic director, and when we win, when we do anything in scholarship football, I celebrate all of that. We won our first playoff game. I believe I sent Gerald an email just to say, you know, that's a step back. It means a lot. There were so many negatives, and I'm so proud that we got to that point. I spent a lot of time working with student athlete scheduling, registration. Athletes often found needed classes closed due to registration profiles. There was no special opportunity to get into a class. Austin Peay, as scheduling goes here on campus with students, everybody wants classes in the morning. And those people with more hours would get to classes that the athletes needed so they could go to practice in the afternoon. Well, finally, through lots of behind-the-scenes work and campus politics, we were finally able to secure priority registration at the junior level, not only for all athletes, but all students involved in extracurricular activities, such as band and those people. That was a long struggle, that didn't enhance my reputation in some areas of the campus, but it was well worth the time and the effort. And I've been given perhaps credit for all that. It was not just me that did that. I occasionally also had to intervene when athletes were not given their proper privileges for excused absences due to competition. There were a few difficult situations, but most faculty members were usually very helpful, and we found that the faculty worked well with our athletes. I enjoyed that work very much. I do want to, while I'm talking about athletics and academics, I want to congratulate Academic Support Services in our department as they continue to improve the academic progress of our students. And I don't remember, but it's up to 3.4 or something like that, the overall athlete GPA. It's just amazing what they're able to do. And I want to say that I enjoyed working with all of the coaches. It's a kind of a three-part effort between the athlete and the coach and the academic side. And you have to coordinate those to make that work. In receiving this honor, I want to recognize a few student athletes with whom I worked very closely over the years, a long period of time. Howard Jackson, Mike Betts, who again, as I said, was one of the first computer science students, Joe Busateri, Terry Ray, Tim Fox, Karen Jolly, Simone Caldwell, Sheena Gooding, Scott Combs, Adrian Henning, Josh Lewis, Tiasha Gray, Wes Channels, I guess he was my favorite, as some of you already know, and worked closely together for a long time, Katie Cozart, and Lydia and Claudia Garcia. And of course there are many more, but those are people that I taught, had a chance to work with, and were highly committed. And then finally, I'll just mention a few of the people that I'm really indebted to, that I work with over the years and care so much about. Tara Patterson, the late Glenda Manning, Joe Lucky, Chuck Kimmel, Brad Kirtley, Cheryl Holt, David Luce, Van Stokes, Alaric Klinghardt, Larry Schmidt, Steve Miller, Sherwin Cliff, the late Greg Walker, the late Bill Herndon, Coach Roy Gregory, late Wendell Gilbert. And then I do want to mention, I did spend quite a bit of time working with the Governor's Club and some of our past leaders, Bobby Mills, who is here, the late Don Corlew, Brandon Bueller, and the late Bill Roberts. Those were all a big part of my work around athletics. Well, finally, my work with athletics always allowed me to do what I wanted to do and what I enjoyed doing the most. And was mentioned, I did have a great career with computer science, and we've accomplished a lot and continuing to do that. But I was blessed by the opportunities to work in athletics as well. Austin Peay has been really good to me with some other recognitions during my retirement, but this one is special. I appreciate the friends that I made and the people that I worked with during all of my time in athletics, and I'll always remember the opportunities that my son Joe, who's here with us, had as he was growing up and being around athletics. He is a successful sports writer. When he's not working for the Army, he still continues that career, and we are very proud of him. He started learning to keep score sitting behind me, I think, at the Dunn Center. Also, I have special memories of our daughter Becky, who's also here, being on the Palm Squad and being an athlete for a few years while I was working there. Becky was unfortunately injured during her last season on the Palm Squad, and we'll never forget the excellent care that she received from our training staff, and especially Joni Johnson. We want to give a shout out to Joni. And again, thanks to all who made this possible, and to all of those people who made an effort to be here. I failed to recognize at the first my friends. I have several friends from church and several from Civitan, and thank you all for being here. Let's go P.
For the record, Becky's not the one who kicked the official and knocked him out with the roundhouse. Just want to point that out. On the campus of Austin Peay State University, around the football facility and the track and field facility, the term the red flash gets used quite a bit. Our next inductee may have been the first and the original red flash on the men's track and field team. In 1976 and 1978, through those 2 years, 7 times took Ohio Valley Conference track and field championships in specific events. In 1976, he had 3 gold medals in the OVC outdoor and was the track athlete of the year in the Ohio Valley Conference. As an All-American in that same year, he finished 5th in the NCAA 100-meter dash in the 1976 NCAA championships. And to this day, on the men's track and field side, he's on one of only 4 Austin Peay All-Americans. Ladies and gentlemen, presented by Mr. Wayne Williams, our newest inductee to the Athletic Hall of Fame, Mr. Johnny Williams.
I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame committee for selecting Johnny Williams for this honor. It is a very special honor for him. Also a special thanks to Jeff Bibb for all his efforts in getting this process done. After a very successful high school career, Johnny Williams signed a track scholarship with Auburn. He had many outstanding high school meets which carried him from California to the Golden West, the Russian American meet, the high school All-American Classic, where he won all of his events, setting records. But instead of going to Auburn, Johnny opted to play pro baseball. He was an outstanding baseball player. But after 2 years with the Cincinnati and Kansas City organizations, Johnny decided that he'd had enough of baseball because of all the travel and late nights and that type of thing. But because I had followed Johnny in high school and I tried to recruit him to Alabama when I was the assistant track coach at Alabama, I knew how to contact Johnny. So I knew he was not going to go back to an SEC school because the fact that he played pro ball prohibited him from going to an SEC school. The OVC did not have such a rule, so therefore Johnny was allowed to be able to go to an OVC school. When I did contact him, he wanted to run again. We signed him, and as they say, the rest is history, and what a great history it was. Being the athlete Johnny is, he rounded into shape more quickly than we thought. A big breakthrough happened at an indoor USTF meet in Montgomery, Alabama for the 60-yard dash against 2 of the best sprinters in the world at that time. Johnny won that race and went on to record one of the fastest times in the nation, a 5.9 world record tying 60-yard dash that kind of began to give us hopes of how things were going to turn out. Then we moved on to the outdoor season of 1976, which again I think as track folks may know was a very historic event for Austin Peay track and field, breaking a 12-year stronghold by Western Kentucky. Individually, Johnny was a 7-time Ohio Valley Conference champion, winning 3 gold medals at the 76 championships to earn him Ohio Valley Conference Track Athlete of the Year. He went on from there that year to place 5th at the NCAA Outdoor Championships, earning an All-American honor for that year. Without any further ado, we'd like to say thanks to Johnny. Congratulations on this honor, and thanks for taking us on that journey back through 76 and 77. Again, congratulations, Johnny. It was an honor and a privilege for me to be able to coach you during that time period.
Ladies and gentlemen, the newest inductee into the Athletic Hall of Fame from track and field, Mr. Johnny Williams.
Don't worry, it's only one paragraph. But I would like to thank the Austin Peay Hall of Fame Committee and Jeff Beard for selecting me. And I would also like to thank my coach, Wayne Williams. Believe me, I'm from Talladega, Alabama. He made many, many trips. I was the kind of fellow that liked to go home occasionally. And sometimes I would forget to come back so he made several trips to pick me up, you know. So I like to thank him for believing in me. And I'd also like to thank all those fellas sitting right over here. If they'll stand up, you know, I'm gonna put a little pressure on them. I'd like to thank all these guys to my left over here. Stand up, fellas. Come on, man. And I have one other friend that's here, Russell Aaron. You guys may know his dad, remember his dad, Dr. Aaron. Thanks, Russell, for showing up. Well, I guess it's been 46 years since I've been here, but I'm only 55. You know, so, but anyway, it's an honor being here, and I look forward tomorrow to getting around town and seeing the place. It's changed tremendously. I can remember a couple of places, and one of my most favorite places was the library. Of course, not the library on campus, you know, the other library, and Big Burger, the hamburger joint. So I just once again want to thank you guys, and I appreciate you, and it's an honor being here.
Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause for our newest inductees, Tatiana Ariza, Anthony Bradley, Jordan Hankins, Dr. Bruce Myers, and Johnny Williams, who make up the 45th class of the Austin Peay Athletic Hall of Fame. It's my honor now to bring to the podium the Austin Peay Associate Vice President and the Director of Athletics to close out tonight's ceremony. Please welcome Mr. Gerald Harrison.
It is a great day to be a Gov. It is always a great day to be a Gov. And I was talking to Dr. Licari over here during the presentation. It is so important to remember the past, live the present, and envision the future. And the Hall of Fame gives us that opportunity to remember our storied past. There's so many great stories, things that I've learned today that I did not know. I learned that even saying Southern Indiana can sound good when it comes from a British guy. You know, that's about the only way that sounds good. But no, there's so many great things about Austin Peay athletics and that people don't know. So these opportunities to revisit the past, to learn from our past, to embrace our past. And then tomorrow we get to go see our basketball team perform, and we're living the present. And then we look forward to the future and what we're building, and so many great things that are happening. Before we dismiss, I want to make some introduction and make a couple comments. One, you know, this is the Hall of Fame for Austin Peay. I think there's several Hall of Famers in this room, but of different categories. And I think when I think of Athletic Director Hall of Fames, and I think of people who've done a lot, who did not always have it easy and had to make chicken salad out of, had to do some things that were a little bit tough back in the days. I think one of the Hall of Famers that doesn't necessarily get enough credit for his athletic administrator role I know he won a lot of basketball games, had the pleasure of putting a banner up with the number on it. But not many people talk about what he did as an athletic director, Coach Luce. Thank you very much. You continue and you start talking about a lot of different things that have gone on. This year, we've relaunched our Lead Her initiative, which celebrates women's athletics and empowers women in sports. And when you think about women's athletics at Austin Peay, you can't do that without thinking about Hall of Famer Cheryl Holt. I am fortunate to have a great staff of administrators and coaches that work along with me. In this room, we have several head coaches that started the evening, but Brian went so long, some of them may have left to get ready for football season. But no, I'm kidding. But there are a couple head coaches in here that I want to introduce, and I don't want to miss anybody. So if you're one of our head coaches, stand up so I make sure I don't miss you when I introduce everybody. All right. So starting over here, this is Coach McCowan, our head women's soccer coach. Coach Val Brown, who's in charge of track and field and cross country. Coach Robbie Wilson, in charge of men's golf. And I'm pretty sure he's the newest head coach, but I get missed on these time when I hire. But our head baseball coach, Roland Fanning. Thank you, guys. All right, now we're going to move this thing pretty quickly, but I cannot get down without talking about the selection committee. Thank you for your hard work and your labor. I will say, when I got here in 2018, I did not understand completely what this Hall of Fame thing involved and entailed. But the more I had a conversation with several members, I realized how important it was and how much work goes into this. And so I do want to thank every member of the Hall of Fame committee. And also, I want to thank Tara Patterson. Tara has done a lot of thankless work. And she loves every bit of it, even though every year at the end of this banquet, she asked me never to have to do it again. But I know she loves it because she has a passion for it. And Tara, I want to thank you publicly for all the work that you've done. And I also want to pray for you for being married to Michael. But that being said, it has been a great evening. Congratulations to all of our inductees. Thank you, Dr. Licari, for allowing me the opportunity to be the athletic director at this outstanding university. And as we remember the past today, and we live the present tomorrow, and envision a bright future, let's all do it together. Let's continue to see red, and as always, let's go Peay. God bless.